Technology has been a wonderful addition to the classrooms. It's so nice that instead of having students just like sit in their seats all day, every day, working down problems on a sheet of paper and just constantly having to write, that we have the option to like, hey, you're still not listening to me. Go watch this video. Maybe you'll listen to somebody else. Or giving them work to do online. It's so much easier to grade because it just grades itself. And then boom, you got a 70. You got a 4. And then they can't be mad at me because I'm like, well, the computer gave you the grade. So you're going to have to take it up with the computer gods because, sorry, buddy. But with this newfound convenientness, there also comes all of the issues that we know about with technology. Issues of cheating, issues of cyberbullying, students being on sites they shouldn't be on, all sorts of things. I make it explicitly clear to my kids. I know what you're doing on your computers. I had a computer before you. I've been around before you. I might be older, but I'm not dumber. Like, I know what's going on. I know how to check your history. I know what it means when you cleared your history. I know that you have a calculator on your device. Like, I'm with it. And they're like, oh, yeah, okay, sure. And yet every year I still have all these kids who are like shocked by the fact that I figure out that they're doing things that they're not supposed to be doing. And inevitably, someone will try this on their tests. So our tests are broken up into 2 parts. There's a part that's on paper and there's a part that's on the computer. Very fair. And this one student, he had been working on this paper part for a good 2 full days. I'm like, okay, this is getting a little ridiculous. So I eventually just like take the paper part away from him because I'm like, bro, like you need to move on. Like you cannot only complete half the test. So I take the paper part away, have him start on the computer. Class ends. There's still a handful of kids who haven't finished. So the next morning, they had some extra time. So their teacher said, hey, is there anything you want me to have them do with me since we have a little bit of extra time? I was like, yeah. Have these like group of 5 finish working on their test. So she's like, all right, cool, shouldn't be a problem. And I told her, I'm like, make sure you can just kind of walk around, see that they don't have their calculators up because with it not being in my room, maybe they'll try something slick. So they finish up class, everybody goes to lunch, and I find the teacher, and I'm like, hey, how did it go this morning? Like, did they do okay? And she's like, yeah, Mr. Meltdown finished really quick. I was like, he did? Really? He just started. And she goes, he wasn't working very long at all. Like, he finished it really fast. I was like, okay, that's really weird, because yesterday was really not fast. So I pull up his score sheet on my computer, and I'm looking at it. This kid got a 70%. And he did his test in less than 9 minutes. Took him 2 days to do 4 questions that he got a 50 on. But he could do the online part in 9 minutes. So I'm like, okay, something's up here. Like, can't straight call this kid out because he has the name Mr. Meltdown for a reason. Like, this kid loves to break down. So I'm like, all right, here's what I'm going to do. There was another student who was a little questionable. So I was like, I'm going to pull them. I'll give them 2 problems from the test. If they can do it and they get it right, great, easy, no skin off my back, everything's fine. He miraculously was able to do the work well today. If they get them wrong, then I'll know something is up with the way that they did their test. So they come in and they sit down and I'm like, hey guys, real quick, just, you 2, I need you to do these 2 problems for me. Shouldn't take you long, shouldn't be a problem. Let me know when you're done. And I leave. I kid you not, this kid sat in the back of my room and threw a fit for an hour. Why do I gotta do problems? I don't want to do this. This is too hard. Why would you give me something like this? Running his mouth, hooping and hollering for an hour. Unbelievably ridiculous. So after an hour of this, I was quite fed up with him as well as many of the other people in the room because they have to listen to him this whole time. So I finally go up to him and I'm like, what's wrong? Like, what's the problem here? And he's like, you're giving me things that are way too hard for me to do. And I said, really? Because you did it this morning and you got it correct. This is from your test. And your test told me that you did it in less than a minute. So an hour ago, it was really easy for you to do. So why is it suddenly so hard? So suddenly he had a lot less to say about what was going on. So he's like looking at me and he's stammering. He's like, this is from my test? I'm like, yeah, it's from your test, which wasn't really hard just a very short while ago. So how come it's suddenly so hard? So then it clicks that I think he's cheating. And oh my goodness, the whole can of worms got open. So now he's screaming at me. You think I'm cheating? You're accusing me of cheating. I'm like, I absolutely am thinking that you're cheating. You cannot do the work now that you got correct an hour ago. Unless you have a better explanation for why you suddenly cannot do the math. You clearly cheated on that test. I wasn't kidding when I told you it tells me what the time is. You did it in less than 10 minutes. Clearly, that's not how you know. Like, things are not correct here. You can't do it now. You could do it then. He's not hearing any of this. He is screaming at me. He can't believe that I would accuse him of cheating. How dare I? That's so unfair. I said, look, unless you can give me a better reason for why you suddenly can't do math, or you just want to be honest and tell me why you're cheating, we can discuss this tomorrow with your mom. But I'm done listening to you scream and holler. Either get out of my classroom or sit down and cut it out. But we're done with these games. As if I really didn't know that he only took 9 minutes. Like, come on. And you can't sit there and complain that just suddenly can't do the math. You could do it like an hour ago. Boy, don't play me. So that was just like its own little like thing. He hated me for the rest of that year, and things became very, very difficult after that. But let me tell you, he did not cheat on another computer test. So, I suppose it was a win. But it was a win with a very large headache. But if you liked this horror story, make sure that you like it down below and you go to my page and subscribe to my channel so that you can get all of my horror stories.